So when we, as you say, we're listening to the body and you start to crave things, and obviously during menopause you do get sugar cravings, and there's that, am I craving this because I need it, or am I craving it for some other reason? Because obviously, the second, if you always like your little bit of cake or your little glass of wine, you think, oh, but it's that agony of, is this making it worse? Or, but I'm, not the alcohol, but the cake, I'm craving the sugar. Is that just the way that our bodies are starting to process things, or is that something that we're learning, or is that what's triggering that sugar craving, and do we actually need it? Should we go for that bit of cake, or should we think, what else do we need?
Yeah, it is. Sugar is very addictive. White flour is very addictive. So part of it is like the body gets used to that it's like, give me more of that chemical. And then actually so it's almost like, okay, well, if you want the sweet thing, again, I know I'm a sweet tooth. It's like, okay, well, consider what are your options? It's like, can I have the sweet thing? What do I want it to do? Well, I just fancy something sweet. It's just like, okay, but do you really need something sweet? Or if you just had a little bit more water, will that satisfy your body? Think of the time. I know for me, there's times when I'm like, oh, I just want something sweet. And then I'll have something sweet. And actually, it's habit. I don't really need something sweet. It's just a habit. Or it's like, am I trying to reward or treat myself, or am I eating because it's emotional but I haven't clocked it? So it's like recognizing why everything you put into your body or onto your body has an impact on your hormones. And I don't just mean kind of, people just tend to think of hormones as sex hormones. Male, testosterone, estrogen, that's it. It's like hormones, there are over 200 different hormones in your body. So for the cells to be able to communicate, talk to one another, grow, repair, heal, recognize what's going on, breathe, it's like it all involves hormones having conversations. So they're just messengers. That's like you've got your different, your gardener. That's when we did our talk the other day. So it's like all of the different chemical messengers have a part to play. So it's learning what to do to help balance mine. If I want that sugary thing, why? And then it's like, can I go without? And sometimes you're like, oh, actually I had some water and that feels better. Or I had a sweet thing, but I made sure that it wasn't refined. I got a recipe for some power balls. So I made sure, okay, I want the sweet. So, okay, I can have some fruit, and then I'm going to have a little bit of fat and protein in there. And then it's like, then I've made that little balance. And then it's like, okay, how does my body feel after that?
Yeah, because I think you said sometimes going for a banana, it's that sort of sweet taste, but actually it's presumably going to be better than going for a bit of cake. So it's got more in it, certainly. And
at the same time, it's like we're human. So if there's special occasion, you're like, do you know what? I'm going to be having that cake tonight. Or I'm having that ice cream in this hot weather because my body wants it. Then it's like, okay, well, what have you done throughout the day? It's like, how can I counterbalance it?
And what would you do to counterbalance it? What's the best thing if you're going for sugar? Is it to exercise or to eat?
I would have it to hand. I'd look at my PFC chart. So if I know that it's a hot day and actually I want to have that extra sugar, so fruits and sugars come under that kind of starchy carb as well as the root vegetables. So it's like, well, if I'm going to have that this evening, then I'm going to make sure that actually during the rest of my other meals, it's like I've had no starchy carbs. I've had my protein, I've had loads of my carbs that I can have a lot of. And then it's just like my quota for my starchy carbs is going to go, I'm going to have that in the evening. Don't necessarily have to have your starchy carbs at every single meal. And if you've had it kind of in the evening, then you're like, okay, well, I know there's going to be like a fallout. Then what else can I do? So how else can I balance those blood sugars? I'm going to just make sure I go for a 10-minute walk after I have my ice cream. Yeah. Burn some of that excess sugar that I've just put in my body.
Yeah.
So I'm walking, so I'm moving, but I'm not.
Yeah,